Why, hello everyone. Good to see you. Paul Tranny here. Going to dive into Creative Cloud Express, creating a brand identity. So this is going to be a lot of fun for me because this is because Creative Cloud Express is just so easy. So it's fun to just kind of jump right in with graphics that I already made and stuff like that, and templates and things like that. So that is the plan. I want to welcome everybody. If you're on whether you're on YouTube, hello, thank you for joining me, or on Behance, I'll be watching both the chats. And thank you so much for saying audio and video are good. So this is really our chance to kind of quickly give back to the community as well, because I want to help you. Not that you need any help. Everybody's awesome. Everybody's I'm sure doing great. But I'm gonna kind of jump in and focus on creating a brand using Creative Cloud Express. Okay, you can see it right behind me, right here. But we're gonna do that for Bevy, basically. So this Express thing is new. You are correct. Yes. Yeah, coffee flavors like vanilla. I don't know what else I've had. I usually have 3 or 4. But let's kind of dive into the video that she recorded. So this is the person that I'm going to create a brand for. Let's go ahead and listen from her right now. And I'm going to listen along with you guys. So let's listen.
Hi, so my company is Nerdy by Nature Designs, and I help develop brand identities. And something I like to see in my logo is I like it to be modern, kind of bold, and maybe include glasses, because I'm very well known for my glasses. Thank you.
Fantastic. So hopefully everybody got that. We could all use some help. That's exactly right. Here's somebody that needs some help. They want to, again, even if you want to create a company, whether you're doing illustration, graphic design, doesn't matter. We usually have the hardest time with our own logo. But that's what I want to start with, is making a logo for lovely Bevy. Oh, Beverly Newburn is here. Everybody give her a warm welcome. Bevy, you are kind of like the art director, which usually as a client, you wouldn't let the client in on the process because you're too busy working. But feel free to chime in because I would love to hear from you. And I'm glad you guys are here. Just so you know, I'm on express.adobe.com, right? So it is free. Everything I'm going to be doing is free. But also you could use, let me just go ahead and open this up, because you could also just use the mobile app, which is right here. So the same sort of situation. Here's the mobile app, Creative Cloud Express. I can literally create on my phone as well. You can see me kind of scroll through these different projects. And again, I can create starting from a solid color, whatever, quick actions, all that fun stuff. So I can start there, or I could start on the desktop, or you could bounce between the two, which is really cool. So hello, Barbara from Nashville. Good to have you here. Welcome. Let me know if you guys have questions as we move forward. I want to say hi to Mark Declerc from Belgium. I'm so glad you're here. So I'm going to make a logo. So we're going to just dive into this. I'm going to click this little plus button. Because rather than scrolling through all those templates, we're going to just create a new logo. And today is very much logo day on Adobe Live, it seems. And yes, Reverb Mike, I'll do you a solid and jump in here and start creating based on just, again, this is just a blank document is all it really gives you, right? But what it does open up is this logos templates, right? So I can go ahead and scroll through all of these to get inspiration or start from somewhere, okay? You guys did hear, and I just wrote this down, it is Nerdy by Nature Designs. She wants it to be modern, bold, and include glasses. So I'm going to remember these things as I move forward, okay? And I'm sure Beverly will keep me honest. Some other questions that I would typically ask Beverly as well, I'd want to know like a lot more than what we just saw in a little video clip. We need to know the business name. Is there a tagline, right? Do we need to develop that tagline? Just anything about your business. You know, if you're creating branding, great. The goals, right? What are you trying to achieve? Your audience that you're after. I take it probably like other businesses, small to medium-sized businesses. That's the audience, right? and then any competitors she might have. So we just got to kind of keep that stuff in mind. And that's why I'm glad Bevy is here as well. So we want to know kind of like, what type of logo do you want? And she did say something modern, you know, and bold. She said bold as well. And then you can talk about like personality traits. So get as much information as you can from the person as possible. And then if they have any like colors that they like or anything they're leaning toward, we need to know those things. And these just are just things that we're going to turn around and give them in a logo. Also, if they're interested in any fonts, right? So that's kind of how it works. It's like there's a whole process that goes into sort of learning about somebody's business before just jumping in and creating a logo. So just kind of keep that in mind. But right in here, we'll just create some nerdy by nature designs. She said, ooh, I kind of bold. Ooh, I love this. This is cool. A number of cool ones that we could run with. So we can jump in here and I could grab this one, right? Oakenberry, right? Why did I pick this? Because this font does say sort of modern and bold. When I say modern, kind of means that, and I'm going to ungroup it, by the way. Here's the logo. I ungroup it. Means that it's sans serif. I'll get into that in a second. But I could jump in and say, hey, you know what? Let's take this text and we'll change this to nerdy. And by the way, I didn't even need to make this all caps because right over here I could just say it's an all caps font, as we could see. From there, we have nerdy. Let's go ahead and take this. We need to do nerdy by nature, so we'll just type in by here as well. And then we can duplicate this. So right over here, hit this little duplicate button. Boom, there we are. Let's have some fun today. So again, we're just getting started. We're getting comfortable in Creative Cloud Express. And yes, Barbara, check it out later. Would love to know what you think. So again, that's all I'm doing. It's like nerdy by nature designs. Type in designs over here. Okay. It's Logotastic Monday. That's right. Oftentimes, with logos, check this out. Let me show you this. With logos, you could create a type lockup. And what's meant by that is, and let's zoom in here. This is, if you do Command plus and minus, or hitting these little buttons down here, we can kind of zoom in, right? But we create a lockup by making sure that this is flush with the text above it. Nerdy by nature designs. Again, this is just the start. We'll continue from here. Okay. I personally, I would encourage you to maybe not dive into color just yet. We can go with a nice taupe, for instance, but let's not let the color distract from the design itself. So oftentimes you're going to start with just like black and white, nerdy by nature, just like that. Okay, what else did she say? She said something about she wants to include her glasses, which I think was so cool. You could see she's wearing them right over here. I won't replay the video, but anyway, so she has obviously her. Let's try to click over. For those glasses, right? Those exemplify her. That's what she's known for. That's awesome. Oh, so sorry. So sorry the sound was gone. I'm so sorry. I realize exactly what happened. But basically what I was saying is we're just kind of identifying the glasses that she's wearing, so we want to make it personal to her. Now that we're back in good old Creative Cloud Express, I can do a couple different things. Now, we've basically used a template, right? We have text we can add, right? We have photos. Sure enough, we have icons, okay, that we can pull from, and design assets. Design assets get maybe a little bit more complex. So yeah, sorry about the sound issue. I had myself muted for the video, and the video was not playing. All right, so those are the different categories. Even down here too, logos again, if I have my own logos. But I want to go into icons because that's what this is going to be. I love that love is the default one in here, but we'll just type in glasses and we'll try to find some that she wears. Scrolling on down. And again, these are just free assets that we can use. I like those. Are somewhat similar. And let me just kind of zoom out. Let's kind of have this fill the screen a little bit more to find the glasses that Bevy wears. Ooh, these ones. Kind of like this. They're maybe, they might be a little cat eye-ish, if you will. But those are the ones we have. We also have these. So I could drop in a couple different pairs and work with them. Okay. Yeah, Canva has got nothing on us. So again, it'll introduce it with some color, like our text might be introduced with some color. Just select that graphic off to the side. We can go ahead and change the color. Right? Boom. I personally like these because they just have more style. Like these are kind of generic. So I'm just going to delete those. Again, art director, Beverly, let me know if I chose the right glasses. We could always swap them out later on. Okay. So here we have Nerdy by Nature Designs. And we can start to put these together. What a lot of people will do is a lot of people will have their imagery fight. It's like, are you supposed to focus on the image or are you supposed to focus on the text, right? And we don't want people to have this struggle. So usually it's one or the other. Or what we do, we'll just jump in here. We'll select these two by shift selecting, moving down, and we can like drop these sort of in the center if we want to. Nerdy by nature. Right. Okay, those are more fun. Okay, thank you, Beverly. Oh, I am so glad you're here. This makes it so much fun, by the way. We could decide, do we want them to touch or not? We could use the arrow keys on our keyboard to kind of nudge these up and down just to give them a little bit of breathing room. But you want to make something interesting while still keeping it legible, okay? Right now, again, this is really straightforward, okay? And might be a good place to start. I'm going to move this up a little bit. And from here, I'm just going to rename this Nerdy. Let's just do NBND logo. Nerdy by Nature Designs. We're just getting started, okay? How about having them inside the lens? Good thought. Good thought. Let's make sure everything's going okay. But let's go back out to projects. Because what I basically did is I made this project, right? I can iterate off this as much as I want, right? So Matthew says, how about some inside the lens? I can click right here, right, on this flyout menu, and we can duplicate this. And for us, we can make sort of logo 2, an alternate for us. So we might have one idea and start iterating off of it. So we'll take the second one, we'll hit edit, and we'll jump in here. So do we want to be more playful with this? And what's largely going to happen is you might have a canvas where you're just like working on one logo here. We'll duplicate it, right? Remember, this is our alternate. Duplicate. There it is. Move it over. Maybe ungroup it. Let's zoom in here. And we'll just play around. Everybody, we're just playing with this. Oh, thank you so much for mentioning that. What font are you using? Off to the side, Bebas New Regular. Bebas. Which again, you want to click on your font, and just out of curiosity, we could see if there's alternates or additional sort of fonts or weights to this particular font, right? So you can see right in here, I can decide to maybe have designs down here have a different weight. So is it sort of thin, for instance, right? gets awfully thin there. We'll take this. We will duplicate. We will duplicate it. We'll jump in here. We'll change this. We're just going to have some fun here. And it's going to get messy. And that's okay. But we could try different formats, right? So taking this, zooming out, holding down the space bar, and this is really helpful if you're used to using maybe Illustrator. You could hold down the space bar, just hold it down and then pan around by clicking on your mouse, and you're able to kind of move this canvas around. So again, let's move this one off to the side. That's one. Here's our second one that I'm playing with. And I could decide whether I want this to be the bridge of the nose, whether I want this font to potentially match the other one. So right in here, when it comes to using fonts, you don't want to go too crazy, to be honest with you. But do we go with a thin version of the same font, right? We can tell already the problem with this one is that this font is going to break down. So how are people going to look at this logo? Well, they could see it really small on Instagram, for instance, like a little bug on Instagram. So if we shrink this down, we start to lose that text. And text has one job before it, which is just to convey information in writing. If it's not legible, it's not working. So, of course, that kind of makes sense, but don't get so creative that you can't read your text, is all I'm saying. Let's play with this some more. I want to play with a different one. I want to play with an entirely different design. Again, I was thinking about taking this. We'll just move this over. Maybe this is smaller, right? I'm playing with this. I'm shrinking things down by grabbing the upper left corner, taking this, nesting it there. Maybe this goes right there, right? And we're just playing with this design, as you can tell. This is more of a horizontal one. All right. So very clean. That's really good to hear. And what I want to do while I'm designing all of this, modern, bold, include glasses. I'm thinking about this stuff. I'm thinking about her favorite color. Beverly, do you have a favorite color, or what color comes to mind is one thing I'd want to know for this as well. But let's take this a step further. Let's take the text tool. So rather than starting with a template, we want to just add our text. So click right there. Sure enough, it adds it right here. We'll go off to the side. It actually remembers my last used font and all the font settings. Ooh, Beverly likes blue, which is fantastic. It's perfect. Honestly, it's the color everybody loves. Everybody loves blue. Like 40% of the population, blue's their favorite color. What does it remind you of? Air, water. Yeah, two things we need to live. Sounds like a good deal. So we will type in Nerdy by Nature Designs. There we go. Type this in. I'm not crazy about this one though, by the way. Let's face it. But it's okay. Let's try something new. I want to take this and notice off to the side. Yes, we could adjust the alignment and we could adjust the spacing. So that's what's happening with this letter line spacing, the letter spacing, right? That's where that's coming from. So those settings are going to be over here. But what I think will be cool is to really emphasize the glasses by jumping in here and doing something that's curved. So let's put this in a circle. Yeah, thank you so much. Matthew Roberts, perfect. You nailed it. Your original design may be better because you may need to be able to place it on boxes, bags, inside a profile pic, all that stuff. So true. Right, so here's a new one, Nerdy by Nature Designs. And then we'll take these glasses, we will duplicate them, and then drop them right in here, okay? So again, just a different idea. Does it work? Ooh, your nickname is Blue. Kiss My Creative. What's your real name? So here's one that may work, okay? We could start playing with this text. Again, I could change the font. And I kind of want to go over some of the don'ts, okay? You don't want to take a display font. Like, look at this font. This font is already hard to read, and you just threw it in a circle because you wanted to be clever. No, don't do that. Another thing you shouldn't do, don't ever use a script font in all caps. Never use a script font in all caps, but that's essentially what's happening here. Okay, Balboa Plus, again, nice font. We could go through these, and I want something that's legible, maybe a little thicker, just so it kind of makes more of that circle. So it's not this thin font. Notice how it's like sort of, it's a condensed font. It's actually a thick condensed font. I want a thick, stretched out font, basically. So we could go over here into more fonts. Yeah, what does she like? She wants it to be modern. I think of clean a lot of times when I say that. And these are the different categories we can pick from, by the way. Right? People probably make a lot of mistakes happen by just the amount of fonts that you have. I'm going to be the designer. I'm not going to let the font designer control the design. I'm going to be the designer here, right? But I'm kind of looking for something that's kind of thicker. What about this Europa Bold? What else we got? I like oh, I love Museo. Oh yeah, this is good. Molly Black, Museo Sans. If I check this Museo Sans, I twirl this down. Yeah, there we go. Like thick font like that. Easy to read, very much like a stamp. This one works for me, right? Museo Sans. I'm going to just copy this so I can remember it. And I'm just going to bring it over here and paste it in. Because I don't want to forget the name of the font. Something like that. Cool, what else you want to do? Hey, let's, let me do CC Express show all of Adobe fonts or just the ones you have activated? Ah, good question. That is a good question. In fact, let's just grab a font. Let's duplicate it. Let's bring it down. This should have all of the Adobe fonts already built in, right? So these aren't even ones that you've activated. These should be all of the Adobe fonts. We can go to, in fact, if you wanted to see those fonts a little easier, you go to fonts.adobe.com. Right, and right in here, you can just go ahead and click all fonts and peruse this way. So notice how this has like the same, sort of the same tags. So right in here, we can say nerdy by nature, right? And then you can go to clean, which is what the category we were in. And we can go to, we want it to be a sans serif. We want it to be fat, right? And maybe a medium width or a thick width. Oh, you've stumped us. I got a little bit too narrow, but this is, again, dark mode. I like dark mode. Azo Sans is so good too. I really like Azo Sans. So it's just a different way to kind of see the fonts of choice, right? So, Azo. Oh yeah. Azo Sans regular. Yeah, that's okay. Anyways, I like what I have. We're going to go with it. We'll move that off to the side. Let's add more to this, because what's happening is sometimes when you're creating a logo, like these elements are all kind of floating around. These letters are, I don't know, they kind of seem like they're floating. So could we like ground them in some way? Okay. So in order to do that, hey, let's go to icons, and I'm just going to search for circle. Type in circle, and sure enough, here's a circle. It's easy enough to bring in. Here's our circle, right? And now let's work on sort of the stacking order or the depth. It's like I have this. How do I get it behind everything? Click right down here. Here's all your layers. I can just grab it and move it down. I can move it down beneath everything if I want to. But just like that, we can kind of move it behind everything. You also have that capability right here to work on the layer order, but I find it easier just to click and drag it because I'm a visual learner. Oh, good question. Can you control CMYK values? So what you have in here, you just have sort of your standard, these are hex colors, right? So you'd have to convert your CMYK to a hex color. You can do print quality content, but currently you just have hex colors and not like CMYK. You could always get the CMYK by using the correct hex color, but that's how that works. And I don't even want to get into color yet, by the way, but I'm getting into sort of like positioning this like so. Because what I'm thinking is maybe I want to make these glasses white, and then we can make this circle right here. Notice how this little like layers panel, if you will, makes it real easy to select items. So as you get into stacking, it's easier just to select it this way and then jump in and change the color. So here, again, another strong design, Nerdy by Nature Designs. I think we have two of them that are pretty strong. We could play with this a little bit more. Yes, I know. I love how the layers are displayed as well. And also, great question. Notice how I get these smart guides. So it's actually giving me this alignment. And let me just delete these, by the way. I know I'm not going to use these. It's kind of, we've kind of come down to these two logos, by the way. Take that one, sort of move it up. But again, we want to work on alignment here. Make sure that's centered like so. Okay. All right. Does it have a gamut warning? No. But you still have those. You could go to color.adobe.com. And again, rather than crowding CC Express with all this information, you could jump in here and drop in the color that you're using. So I wanted to point this out really fast. Accessibility tools. So you could drop in your color and it will show you if it's out of gamut. So right here, let's just take a look at this. Take this down. So this is the legibility when adding two colors together. It's saying, hey, in order for people to really see this, Mr. Young Eyes, maybe an older person might have a harder time. So don't do this. Notice how it gives me this contrast ratio issue. You know what? Don't do that. Take that down. Make sure you have enough contrast in your designs to make them legible. That's the contrast. I want to go into colorblind safe, by the way, as well. So this is just when you're combining colors, whether people will perceive two colors as being too close. It's already saying A, B, C, and D are in conflict because they're too close. Because, again, so that somebody who's colorblind will see those all as the same color. So we want to keep that in mind as we sort of start to dive into color, just so you know. Okay, no conflicts found. Anyways, I thought that was pretty fun, and that is bonus material for you. Okay, so welcome. If you're just joining me, I'm in Creative Cloud Express on the desktop, by the way, excuse me, in the browser, and know that I could actually use Creative Cloud Express literally right on my phone if I want to as well. So right in here, this is what I was doing earlier. Drop in a color, hit next, right? We'll just create a social graphic, type in whatever you want. I could design on my mobile device. So pick your poison, whatever works for you. Let's get back in here. Okay, I like this because if I take this, I could jump in here and I can adjust the letter spacing. Because honestly, if this is going to, I might end up with one logo and then some alternates. So that's the thing, like on a big screen, I might have this font look just a little bit more elegant. So I'll have the letter spacing toned down some. But if it's going to be small, right? So this might be the large one, by the way. E. ooh, group, duplicate, boom, and then jump in here. And this could be the one that's more of like a bug, for instance. So for this one, for these logos, you might have your main logo, sort of a bug logo, and then it's not even a bug logo, it's like the small version, because your bug logo for this one would just be the glasses. So what would we do? We'd duplicate it right over here. Let's just ungroup it. It's straight up, literally a bug like this, and then we just adjust the size of this. But this might be the logo that gets used for Instagram and different things. Okay. So anyways, hopefully you guys are finding this interesting. I think it's super fun. If you're joining me elsewhere, I see you, Scarlett, over there. I'm glad you're enjoying everything, but this is what I would do. Also, what you would have, and let me just edit this background because we will throw a cream color down there. You would actually have one that goes on white and then one that goes on black too. So when you get down to the final logo that's picked, you're going to have different versions. You're going to have this version and then an inverted one as well. That's going to be where this is white and then this is black. Okay. So getting ahead of myself a little bit because we haven't even picked a logo. I don't know. What do you guys think? This is what I'm going to do. So you guys get this concept, right? That all makes sense. I'm going to delete this stuff. And the cool thing is I can have you guys like vote, or I can take these two and, you know, we could label them if we want to. Say 1. Shrink this down. And this is all I'm doing. If I have 2 different versions and I want to send it to my friend, you guys being my friends, whether you like it or not, right? So like, which one do you like, right? Check it out right up here. Share. We can go ahead and publish this, right? It did that in the upper right. So now I have this link that I'm going to copy and then I can paste in chat, right? Ugh, if I could copy it. Ugh, come on, buddy. Okay, there we go. Good. George, can we distort or manipulate the text like we can in Illustrator? Yeah, not necessarily, to be honest with you. So cool thing about this is I could still work on this because I need to add a little bit more. So right in here, I want to like, which logo do you like? Question mark, right? So that's what I'd add at the top. Which one do you like? Have you pick maybe I don't know. We can talk about that all day long. Whether you even give the client options, right? But again, I just went ahead and made this change. Now, oh yeah, yeah. If we could do a poll, Val, that would be awesome. So let's do a poll, if that works, Val. If it's not too much trouble. But the cool thing is, I made this change. I added this line at the top. Guess what? The link does not change. Like, because countless times I've you know, sent things out and realized I'd misspelled something, right? So this just gives us the ability to jump there, change that link, and move on. Okay. Looks like everybody's saying 1. Judith is number 2. Okay, I'm into it. And I didn't even spend that much time on it, but you're learning sort of the logo process. Okay, cool. You guys are doing their thing. So, okay, you're saying 2, but maybe it's a larger font. Let's ungroup that. So here I am messing with it already. Shame on me messing with it mid-vote. That's messed up. To answer your question about what you can do to manipulate text, I'll show you just kind of with this line as we vote on these. But right up here, right, we did it curved. We could do text in a grid or a semicircle, as you can see, right? We could see our lovely semicircle. What we could do is we could decide to do nerdy by nature. And heck, let's just take this. We'll duplicate it. We'll go back in here to all of our various effects and then flip that so that's sort of below, and then we'll type in designs. So now just, again, a different take if we wanted to still continue with the circle thing. Fatten the font. Everybody's like, fatten up that font, Paul. Well, that's all because of the letter spacing. So I'm just increasing it like so, and then we're good. Okay, cool. So have fun exploring all these different effects that become even more interesting as you get into as you get into posts. Okay, there we go. Cool, cool. Okay, so you guys are working on that. This one we want to go with, right? That's the one I would pick. Looks like design 1 is winning. We're going to go with that. We're going to go back to projects. Remember, here it is, right? I actually created this one. Remember I created this one earlier? This one I used for voting, but now we have this NBND logo. So let's open that up. Seems like people liked this one. I could take this and then I could download it. So you do have options to download the PNG file, the JPEG, the PDF. For those of you, since this is just following the Illustrator stream, you could download this as a PDF and then open it up in Illustrator and then manipulate it further if you want to, since you asked about Illustrator. But I'm going to say PNG, save this file as a transparent PNG right here on my desktop, right? There it is. Okay. So what I would have is I would present that to the client, and then I would have a duplicate logo white. I would have a white version. I have a black version. I maybe have a minimalist version as well. And again, just make all those different versions because the client is going to want to use these on dark backgrounds, on white backgrounds. But let's talk about color now too. Let's talk about color. There we are. Background, black, right? So there it is. Here's the white logo. So from here, I can go ahead and download that PNG file as well. Okay, you got it. Now let's talk about colors. We can get more into that. Again, you could have a color one that's going to be on a black background or on a white background, like a number of things you could do. Okay, so let's go in here. No, let's go back out actually. Let's go back out. We'll just duplicate this one because I'm going to play with a color version. Now, are we adding color just to add color? Maybe. Like, for instance, does Nike have a color? No, they don't. Does MTV have a color? No. Does McDonald's? Sure, right? So you want to use color with a purpose, not just to decorate a logo. Okay, so are we doing it with purpose? Now, if Bevy always wore red glasses, that's like an easy one. Yeah, nail that. You know, red does give it that pop of color, right? So we could go this route if we want to, okay? So Bevy said her favorite color is blue. It's just a question of whether we think blue is going to be the right color for these glasses. And again, jump in here. We can, instead of picking our own, we can go into more, right? And find maybe a nice blue that we like or that she likes, right? Burger King has color, yes. So kind of finding colors is a whole thing. Like, and this is where I'd consult with her. and I would consult with all the questions that she's asked, that I got from her, all the answers. She wants it to be bold. She wants it to be modern, right? So am I going to pick an IBM blue if she wants a modern logo? No, I'm probably not going to pick your boring... Because look, even within this segment, look at all these blues that we have. It's like, no, let's go with something more modern and fun and fresh. Even this like teal blue is more interesting if you ask me, right? So that's what you want to do. By the way, you could go out there and just Google color meaning. Search for color meaning. Guess what? It's everywhere. I've done live streams on this before. All of them say largely the same thing, right? Color has meaning and it has kind of a purpose, right? You want power, strength, and energy. Heat, love. Yeah, that's red. If we go down to blue, yeah, sure enough, peace, tranquility, loyalty, right? And these are just basically primary colors, right? But just do it with a purpose. You know, if you want to convey happiness, compassion, playful, things like that, inspiration. I like pink, right? So just kind of think about that stuff as you pick colors. Like go through the color meaning, which I don't have time to get into really, but it's really fun to take a look at, right? And those are just like your primary and secondary colors, because yeah, we could just go nuts, right? I think Beverly did show that she had yellow glasses. So if there was a color, I'd maybe pick sort of a goldish yellow, because that was on her little sample that she flashed up in her video. So maybe it is that. I don't know. Psychology isn't an exact science. Yep. Very few things are an exact science, except for science. Science is the only exact science I know of. But let's take a look at that. Like, we kind of already have our main logo. Our main logo literally is this, right? Let's take this, let's group it, let's shrink it up. But let's do this. We're going to now make not only a color logo, we're going to make our style guide. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm just kind of, I need to sort of, you know, pick the colors and things that are going to work well for her design based on what she talked about, okay? So let's think about modern colors. What color is the color of the year? Pantone color of the year. Sure enough, it's this one. It is... Peri Peri, or Very Peri. I keep on saying Peri Peri. This is the color of the year, by the way, just as an FYI. So maybe I want to go like a tertiary type color. Like, even this one isn't bad. Ugh. You know, the Very Peri was like this, but it was actually a little bit more. Sorry. It was like a little bit more purple, so we could just tweak it over into a little bit more sort of like purple, okay? So that's one place we could start. Very modern, we know it's the color of the year, and let's play with some more colors, shall we? Let's take this, let's duplicate it. We could pick up to like 5 different colors, and let's start with this first one, which is going to be this color. So colors is this one, and some others. I already forgot the name of this font. Okay, so it's Bebas. All right, anyway. Right in here, we want to go with the same color intensity, okay? Which means we want everything to be on this like horizontal line, the same intensity, but just a different color. Right, what do? We'll take this and we'll drag it clear over here. And now we have a color that matches, because we didn't move this up and down. We stayed within the same color intensity to get this second color, right? I'll make it a little bit more gold. And again, just trying and showing you how you pick colors. Okay. Even here, what do I love? I like purples and these like off colors like that. That's nice. You know, you get the idea. Da, 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 da. Oh, this is good, Beverly. I'm so glad you're here. Your glasses are blue, but your eyeshadow is gold. That's kind of interesting because I actually have this. So based on Bevy's suggestion, maybe we will kind of tweak that a little bit more toward gold. Okay. But this could be our style guide. So we could have, even our fonts could be the same font, but we want to start picking out the fonts that we want to use. So maybe we want to have, you know, a header font that is, I don't know, it could be a little bit more fun. I might even want to go into Museo slab, right? So it's still bold. I don't know, something like that. But when it comes to taking fonts, let's duplicate this. And pairing fonts, a lot of times you end up pairing serif and sans serif fonts, right? There we go. Just playing with different headers and subheaders. Like so. And this is the start of my style guide. Okay, cool. Michelle, you like those colors? So again, honestly, these colors say fresh to me. They feel like original and fresh, especially like on my screen. It's just, it pops a lot, so I'm into it. All right, cool. So we have our colors, by the way. Pick them. Let's take a look at this gold, right? We can sample that exact same gold. That's that hex color. You know, there's our 3 to 5 colors. Okay. Now we did this. You guys ready for this? Because we're creating a brand identity, right? We created the logo in a very rushed fashion because I only have an hour. But now check this out. I can create a whole brand. So look right over here. We were over here in home. Now I'm in brands. Okay, so from here I can create a brand. So this gives me the ability to define the logo. So right up here, we'll upload that logo. Boom. Right, we'll pick the color, which was right here. Ooh, all right. Get that out of here. You know, we'll pick the font as well. So right in here. you know, picking the font, just picking Museo slab. Let's go to next. What's the brand name? This is Nerdy by Nature. Create my brand. Right? And it already gives you those examples back there, which I think is really cool. And when you're at this screen now, you could say, hey, you know, let's add some more logos. So we could go ahead and upload the white version, right? So we have just a couple different versions, or as many as you want to use. Did it work? Oh, it did upload it. I didn't even notice it. I actually uploaded it twice. So let's just delete that one. It's because it's white. I didn't even notice it. But yes, it did it. Boom, there you go. You add more colors. You get the idea, right? And the cool thing is, oh, did I not? Beverly doesn't have to, she doesn't have to worry about picking or using the right color because I'm actually establishing all those colors for her, okay? So again, just work with me. I don't have a lot of time. Pick your colors. You have them sampled and uploaded there. I'd encourage you up to 5. For the body, by the way, this is what I was saying with your fonts. Oh, which one do I pick? Just go into suggested font pairings, right? And right in here, it can kind of show you your headline, your bold font, right? And let's click through some of these. Here, this is what I mean by a serif font. It has a little serif is your headline, and then a sans serif as your secondary font. So that's essentially what's happening here. For me, again, I'll just pick a sans serif for the body, and you get the idea. Cool. We're making a brand. Cool. Beverly does think it's bright, playful, and happy. And again, we could change this at any time. But check this out. We've created that now. Now, this is what I would do. I could turn this over to Beverly, and she could go in and she can make an Instagram story, for instance, right, for her brand new brand. She's like, okay, I'm launching this company. I want it to be an invitation or whatever. Like you're having an opening of the new business. Oh, cool. Perfect. Like business launch party, right? So right in here, we have that selected, right? We could design this more, but right in here, actually, let me, for this business launch party, I want it to match all those colors. So let's just save this. This is launch party. Let me go back in here really fast. Oh, cool, Tanya. That's so good to hear. Use your, let's go into brands. For this Nerdy by Nature that I created, right in here, we'll click here, and we're going to make this the default, right? Since I have a lot of brands in here, I can make that now the default. So we'll go back into the launch party project I was working on. Going in here, clicking design, and you could see it's going to apply that color and those assets to this particular template. Sure enough, I clicked. What happened? It changed the colors. These are the colors that I've picked, the font that I had selected, and then it drops in the logo right up here, right? So everything changes based on my design, which I think is super cool. Right. By the way, you could remix it too, I think. Yeah, so as I click, it's actually shuffling through different colors. It should, again, depending on the template. Like, I like this one. You get the idea. All right. Checking chat. I'm down to my last, 3 minutes. Yeah, good call. Voodoo Val's like, sort of picking your fonts. You don't want to pick two that overpower each other. Right, even down here, these are awfully bold, right? I might want to ungroup these, and that's when you need to make sort of your own design decisions as well. And even when picking a font, it would help if you pick a font with different weights. Because honestly, I think these are all too fat, too thick for being this body copy down here. I'd rather go with something a little cleaner. Put that on 2 lines. I would start to just do a little bit more designing and adjusting, right? Because everything was yelling at me, right? And that's what these big bold fonts do, is they start all yelling at you, and I don't need everything to yell at me. Your client will want everything to yell at everybody. And you're like, no, you need to establish a read. First read, In fact, let's just kind of zoom out. First read, maybe second read up here, I don't know. Third read sort of thing, right? Yeah, and again, we're pairing serif with sans serif, but there's sort of the business launch party that is an invite created based on Nerdy by Nature. We've done a lot, by the way. Can I just say that? I feel like we did quite a bit. And I could talk more about logos, but I wanted to really go through sort of the process of a whole brand, by the way, in order to make sure we could apply it to at least something in the end, right? So that is the idea. Is there anything else we need to keep in mind? Yeah, lots of things. If Beverly sends me some graphics, I could just as easily upload those and use those as well, right? Photos, for instance, right? We could upload our own photos and drop those in. So that's really a lot you could do. So, Beverly, you are awesome. Thank you for being such a good sport. We're looking forward to your launch party. And again, this is a case, honestly, I would have a bug for our logos. It really just needs to be the glasses, maybe. But since we're launching a new business, this kind of needs to be like right down here, like just a little bit more prominent, right? I would probably do this, redesign it like this. I'd put this off to one side so you have nice balance, and you get the idea. Okay? That's what I would do. Okay? But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. When you know you have the right one. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but you know what? Such is life. When do you know if you have the right one? For anything. I don't know. I don't know. We're all just trying to find our way here. But thank you so much for joining this business launch party of Nerdy by Nature Designs. Compliments of Beverly Newburn. Thank you so much for participating. Don't worry, we got more coming up next as well as we build out another brand, actually create a landing page and even more content. So a lot to do. We'll see you all really soon in like 4 minutes. So stick around, hit the like, subscribe, all those fun buttons so we can have this more of a dialogue on a regular basis. Thanks so much, everybody. We will see you super soon. See ya.